Okay, I've just got to say this for the purpose of the vlog. So this is a 170mm X-Fusion Manic dropper seat post. It is slammed in all the way. It cannot be inserted into the frame anymore. That is crazy. That is crazy. Anyway, enough about that. Let's swing a leg over the bike and see how it does. Let's rock. Alright, moment of truth. How do the eddy currents do on the loose? At least I can kind of feel the back wheel kind of digging in a bit. Interestingly enough, actually, I've had to turn the bike into trail mode just for this type of stuff. Oh, someone's ahead. Jeez. What? You know, the funny thing is, as I'm riding, it feels quick. But sometimes when I watch the GoPro footage back, you don't half look a bit slow. But it's crazy. It's one of the reasons why I always thought to myself, I should put a Garmin on my stem, just for you guys to gauge as to the speed I'm going. Alright, we've had a first lap, and I gotta be honest, the handling and the performance of the bike is definitely noticeable from the stock configuration this bike was once in. Now, at this point in time, I've made upgrades and I've put bits and pieces onto the bike in order for it to feel more comfortable for me. We'll dive into that right now so you guys can see, so let's pan to the bike and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm using my phone at this point to record. Hopefully it's going to come across better than using the GoPro. But the tyres have been swapped out. So I'm currently running the Shrobby eddy currents, front and rear. The rear is using a 2.6. The front is using a 2.8. But so far, grip on the rear definitely improved. It was a little bit slidey going down there. So one could argue that perhaps the eddy currents aren't as great of a mud tyre as what the Magic Marys I remember, but it's early days. We'll still mess around, and of course the one thing I can do is adjust tyre pressures, both front and rear. Second upgrade is the dropper. Now, as you probably saw in the beginning of the video, this dropper is slammed all the way into the frame. Now, this is an X-Fusion Manic dropper seat post, 170mm. It works fully extended. I've got it to a point in which basically it fits me perfectly. So you could argue that even if I could slam it into the frame fully, it would probably end up being at that height anyway. But it is worth mentioning that because following from the last video I made, I couldn't get any conclusive information as to the biggest dropper seat post you can fit into this frame. I have a funny feeling that the biggest dropper you can fit is a 150, but a 170 can fit provided you don't mind it sticking out the post a bit. Other than that though, everything remains as it was from the last time. So still running the Toe Peak Ninja bottle cage mount, perfect. I always say this to people who are doing a lot of mountain biking: if you don't have a decent bottle cage mount, get the Toe Peak Ninjas, can't go wrong. And everything else on the bikes seems to be doing all right actually. Battery and motor seem to be fine. The first initial shakedown ride when I did have a loss of power, it seems to be like an anomaly, because since that time I've used different batteries in this bike and it works. I've used the same battery which this bike came with on my Levo and my Levo hardtail, and it seems to be fine. The bike's been thoroughly cleaned since that ride anyway, so yeah, I guess there's no issues since that time actually. Drivetrain, brakes, still working good, but you know, drivetrain's consumable. Brakes, they're going to need bleeding and brake pad swapping eventually, so you know, we'll wait and see how that goes. But all in all, so far I'm impressed with the dropper seat post. Further testing on the Schrobby eddy currents, and of course I will be doing a comparison video between the Schrobby eddy currents and the Michelin E-Wild. So of course, if you like this kind of stuff, make sure you hit that like button and comment down below, because at the very least it will give me more inspiration for me to make that video and bring it out sooner rather than later. But for now, let's still have a little bit of a shakedown ride of this bike in its current configuration, and I'll keep you posted regarding my thoughts and opinions. Back to Eco. Okay, I'm back into trail. All right. Truth be told, it is a bit muddier out there. So let's see if there's any place else we can test this thing out. But it's moving though. It's moving. All right, from one muddy trail to another. Let's see how the eddy currents do around here. Get a little bit of single track action in. Yeah, we're still in eco mode. That is the one thing I always have to keep on checking about these bikes, which mode I'm in. Whoa! Okay, it really wanted to go then. Tight turn that was. Cheers, sir. Thank you. Bloody hell, the sun is in my face. Hopefully you guys can still see, because I think too much light exposure does impact on the view. Boost it. Yeah, I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. Whoa. I ain't gonna lie, actually, that was a bit more tougher than I initially thought it was. Especially with them tyres. Okay. That was interesting. Alright, I'm not gonna lie. I think that's the first time I've ever gone up to the playground and I've actually struggled with an e-bike to get up it. Not because of the power, but because of the grip. Like, actually no, and the power. Like, the bike didn't feel as powerful, and like literally I had it in boost mode and like it just felt like it was just not getting me up, and I was like, the hell? Like, everything's okay on the bike, don't get me wrong, but I don't know, maybe I'm gonna have to experiment with the tire pressures, because, you know, like I think currently I'm running, I think 25 in the rear and 22 up front. I don't know, maybe I can go a little bit lower. I mean, you know, I don't want to go ridiculously low on my first outing because, you know, if I slash the tyre or burp the tyre actually, like, you know, it's just kind of game over. And yeah, I could put in a tube, but yeah, come on. But all in all, climbing, yeah, definitely noticeable. My experiences with the E-Wilds, it's been a hell of a lot better actually. Like the lever, I've whipped up that thing, and hell, you know, even with the butchers, both on the Kenevo and my stump jumper, I have got up there. Yeah, observation so far, but okay, let's see what else we can get up to and test these tyres out. Back to Eco. So one thing, I'm so glad I swapped out the dropper, because at least I can get lower than what I could do before. And there's no saddle tilting notion to catch me off guard. Whoa! Never seen that before. That's interesting. Alright, so we're at Victoria Park in Tipton. Thought might as well, since we're here, actually give a once over with the shrubby eddy currents on the Kenevo. Not too sure what the conditions are going to be like, but it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that they're going to be muddy and rainy as always. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get on with the ride. You know, it's interesting to actually use a different bike in an area for you to see what's considered overkill and what isn't. DL. Incidentally, it is worth mentioning that unlike certain tyres, you know, these are these tyres are front and rear specific. So it's not a case in which you just buy a tyre and then put it on any wheel. You get the front for the front and the rear for the rear. You can technically put either on either, but in order for you to get the maximum out of it. Sorry. But in order for you to get the maximum out of these tyres, you do need to kind of stick to what they are. I know, like Maxxis, you can sometimes get away with running a DHF on the rear. All right, we're on the right. There you go, air and boost. Okay, yep, grip's better. Okay, yeah. All right, I'll take it back, guys. I may have been running too much PSI in maybe the rear. So, spoke too soon in relation to into grip and power. Now for the moment of truth, the descent. Oh, bloody hell. All right, cross your fingers and dot the T's, cross the I's. Okay, yep. Okay, all right, all right. Yeah. Okay, eddy currents, you made your point. All Alright guys, I think that's going to be me for now. But so far the field test regarding the Kenevo in its current configuration, it's been good. It's been good. Learned a lot from it. So obviously drop the PSI in the tyres. The dropper C-post I've not been able to fault. Like the X-Fusion Manic in the 170s actually worked pretty well. But anyway guys, that's going to be me like I said. If you like this kind of stuff, again, make sure you hit that like button, comment down below. And until next time, take it easy.